Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Mike for Road to the Illuminati. Today, it's the 6th day since I started working out. Been on a jog this morning and did some push-ups and sit-ups like I always do. Building in a new routine and a new mentality where I don't escape from reality. I embrace it and I go on trekking forward the best I can be until I can't push anymore, and then I push a little further and more, get the best results. I've already seen tremendous amount of results. I was 192 pounds when I started this about, I want to say 10 days ago, 12 days ago, a little before moving into my new place where I was working out, doing push-ups and sit-ups, but not jogging, not doing the cardio aspect of it. And now I'm doing the cardio aspect of it. Now I weigh 178. So I want to say 12 days, lost almost 14 pounds, 13 and a half. And we're going hard. We are training every single day, even though I don't want to some mornings. It's better to get it out of the way and start jogging immediately. I normally bring my headphones and connect with music, but now I connect with the environment and nature, and I run in parks. And I get some suntan along with the breeze from the wind, something elemental a little bit. But so far my 6 days have been okay. Like I said, I've been fidgeting a lot. It is a side effect from the antipsychotic they give me, Abilify. I move my legs constantly like this. And another one is chewing invisible gum, where I clench my jaw or do something weird with it. And another one was the popping in my ears, which is every time I swallow, every time I try to speak or catch my breath, I feel the pressurized bubbles coming up to my eardrum and popping. And it used to be just the left ear, now it's sometimes the right one as well. And it started exactly when they started the treatment for Abilify. So if anybody is on the fence, don't take it. I have a mandatory ordinance to take it, and it's done by the court, where I did not want to take my medication and I was feeling fine without it, and in consequences they thought that was out of control. So I basically went to the TAC, which is the Administrative Tribunal of Quebec, TAQ, and they basically take away your rights as a human being and they decide everything you have. So right now, last year I was under detention with no modality, with strict detention, and I could never leave, never do anything. And this year I am liberated from the TAC with conditions. So my conditions are to remain abstinent and have drug tests twice a week, to continue my psychiatric evaluations and appointments when I need them, and to stay away from a neighbor that lied and started this whole process, said that I attacked them and ended up 25 feet away from their apartment. And yeah, it basically was me breaking into them. You know, the cops were dumb as shit and they couldn't figure out that she was lying. So with that being said, now I have certain conditions to adhere. Now the ordinance treatment is one of them, and I have 1 year that ends in May, and then the TAC ends in June. So I have a little of 11 months to go, and to be psychologically imprisoned by these medications that they make me take. And it's so overwhelming, especially when you have nothing to do besides to lay in bed, and the bed is super uncomfortable where I moved. It's absolutely a rock, and either side you lay on hurts, and the back is even worse. So when you're moving, you're constantly, and you don't have anything to do, when your symptoms increase drastically. And so I try to work out, I try to do something positive and constructive. So today I'm doing the video segment of this, and I also wanted to talk to you about my mental state since I moved in, which is very, very optimistic, even though it's realistically implausible that I become a success, just from the data they have gathered around here and the long list of conditions, so to speak, I have to adhere to makes it improbable that I will fully be abstinent. But who knows? I have strong mental will and the power to control myself, and I'm becoming a better version of myself every single day, and it's done on the daily. So aside from working out, I've been playing some poker, and it's been going all right. I'm doing a bankroll challenge where I start with a certain amount and I end up 10xing it or 20xing the starting amount. And with that being said, it's a hard game to master, but I've mastered some aspects of it and still have leaks in others. Besides that, my dreams have been absolutely incredible. They've been vivid and lucid, and I have been exerting powers in my dreams which are coinciding with the colors that I've seen when I close my eyes, and I reflect the rainbow, gold and blue indigo and white all at once, and it's like on 4 separate stages, and it's pretty mind-blowing to think that some of these powers are absolutely magic, so to speak, and you can literally bend your will of reality when you match your vibration and your emotions and your intentions all line up to your principles and values, and you adopt the hermetic principles as a serious thing and not just, Jesus used to do this, and all of this, all as above so below, as within so without, is the law of correspondence, and it really mimics whatever you visualize and emit is what you recalled and you receive. And some of these dreams that I've been having were like, let's go for the timeline dream, where I had the same dream 6 months ago and I had no idea what to do. And then I had it a few days ago where all 5 separate characters had their own stage, and then the second floor was the photo shoot up, and each character had to make it themselves upstairs through the stage and up to the photo shoot realm, and they had to coincide together. They can't overlap in any which way, and they all had to coincide before the photo shoot and after the photo shoot for a second photo shoot, whoever made it to the next round. So I had to snip and snap all of these 5 individual segments, roll it out so I could see their beginning and end at the same exact time with no middle, except when you focus on a specific frame, you can zoom in and zoom out to this and see exactly which way it went or where they coincided with the other candidates. And then all of a sudden, I snip and slice and dice into a meaningful segment part, and with that it created a 5D visual of it, and each person that coincided together, it became an orb of energy that just sucked in so that person can continue. And then as soon as they came out of the vision screen, which is important, they just became an NPC basically with autonomous capabilities. It was pretty cool because it touched a lot of things that I've been trying to figure out in life, and how to perceive time and how to perceive the control of it. If everything has its own variant movement, and where does it end and where does it begin if you can't see the middle at all. So it's pretty cool to see how it rolled out. And another really wacky dream, which kind of disturbed me, I was in traffic in a car, and all of a sudden there's a scooter with a toddler on the back of it facing me, and the toddler had the blackest, darkest eyes ever, and he looked at me and saw right through my soul and to my nervous system, just shook to its very core, and it woke me up abruptly. And then I was like, holy shit, is this a curse? Is this an omen? A bad omen? Is this something? And then I ended up going back to sleep, and then I see the same exact character again, and I have the car still, and then I saw that as an attack, and my intention was to obliterate him with the car. So I hit the scooter. The kid doesn't move. The kid just stands in place, but the scooter gets tossed a million pieces apart. But then all of a sudden, he does it. He looks at me again in the soul, and the same things. My nervous system kind of began to tremble, like I was wearing like a gearbox. And suddenly, I woke up again, thinking like, oh shit, this has to be an omen or something. But then the next night, I had a very vivid dream about me being in the woods in a house in DC and British Columbia, and all of a sudden, I faced my roommate who was in trouble with the local motorcycle gang, and they came to our house and robbed everything clean, every memorabilia from the Illuminati, everything that I had, everything that was a version of me basically was stolen. And all of a sudden, like, the night is over. Then the next day I go to sleep, and all of a sudden the motorcycle gang leader comes to my door of my room and begins to knock, and then they proceed to take even more things from me that they left behind. And being that's it, I turned to the motel that was in our backyard, and suddenly the concierge refers me to the shed because I didn't have any money to pay for a room. He basically let me stay there for free. As I go to the shed, all of a sudden undercover cops come in from their hideout and question me and take my picture and everything, and I brush it off like nothing. And suddenly I make it to the shed, and then in the shed I see from a bonfire where they were having a reunion, the gang leaders with the gang members. And this motorcycle gang was very, very wary because their leader didn't show up, so they were thinking there was a rat, but it was the gang leader. And all of a sudden the cops just uncover and they arrest everybody that was there from my shed view. And then the next day I wake up in real life and go back to sleep, and then all of a sudden I see 4 of my old high school friends that were there, and they were greeting me with nice open arms, and they were quite fathomable about everything that I had experienced and everything they had seen and foreseen, and everything they did in my life that affected it negatively or positively didn't matter because we were all reunited once again. And I know I affected their life positively because they came out and saw me. Otherwise, since high school, our contact has been. And then the next day, I have a message from one of those friends on Facebook that messaged me, which was pretty cool after almost 15 years of absentee behavior and everything else, even indulged on my part. But for the most part, it was pretty surreal to have that law of synchronicity happen over and over and over and over, because I've been writing on my dream journal and my remembering journal all these synchronicities that happen throughout the day, and you kind of see a pattern emerge, and then you write your dream journals, your dreams in your journal, and you see a pattern emerge from there. Everywhere there's patterns, and to see my past behave this way because it's affecting my future is kind of nonsense, because I thought time was linear and it's actually spherical, and any 2 points of reference, which is your past or future, or past with your present, your present with your future and your present with your past. And it coincides all together where you can only zoom in on 2 separate points. So your past, your present, and your future all have the same line mentality, but you can actually uncover it because it falls in our dimensions. And when you're capable of zooming in and out of dimensions, you can see time differently as a sphere or a spiral, if you want to call it that. But that's pretty much it. On my next video, I'll be talking about the music I've created, some of the good songs that mean a lot to me, and some of the things that I have been doing on offset to ameliorate the channel. This is Mike for Road to the Illuminati. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.